week before, you may remember I did a thing about the Creative Academy, and I've got this feeling lots of people kind of want to kind of go to art school and do art school kind of things, but they can't afford it or they can't get there. There's lots of reasons. Some people are too young, some people think they're too old, many reasons. Some people think they've only just started and they're not good enough. But I think if you join in at your own pace, and so you can do things at your own pace. And so I've been thinking about this for quite some while, and it's very strange. I can see myself in another window about 3 minutes ago or something like that. It's slightly behind time. So so I've been thinking all sorts of ways of doing it, and I've learned so much about setting up websites and things like that, and doing it on a WordPress site with memberships. And then my site got hacked, and I thought, I can't spend all my time defending a website. So I need to go through somebody else who's going to do that job for me. And then I thought, then YouTube started having these YouTube channels, subscription channels, and that seemed like a way forward. And so I kind of set everything up on that, and once I pressed the button to start it, I realized there are all sorts of things which meant it wouldn't work, but I could only find out those things once I'd started. But very kindly, everybody started suggesting, had I tried Patreon? And so I went across to have a look at that, and it just seemed like a really good way around it. And so Patreon works is that I will carry on doing YouTube videos, whatever, but I'm asking for your help, financial help, to sort of keep going, because I'm just not getting really paid for. I get some advertising, but not a lot. Not enough to really keep doing these videos, and certainly not to take more time to do sort of proper how to draw courses and things like that. So Patreon allows you to join in at various levels. So I've sort of started off at $1, which isn't much really. So you can subscribe for $1 a month, and for that, then you will be able to download the how-to sheets. I'm going to start doing how-to kind of sheets, so that instead of having to stop and start the video, you can have the sheet next to you and kind of follow that as well as the video. And then, what is it? $3, I think. $3, then you get full access to the courses that I'm doing, which $3 a month for the courses I'm doing is a total bargain. And then $5, then you get everything before. As you go up, you get whatever you had before. So you can choose where you want to sort of join in, as it were. And for $5, then you'll get all sorts of behind the scenes kind of things. And I'm going to try, if I get enough backing, I want to go out and find really interesting people to interview and sort of study their style and ask how they do things, and go and see people and actually film them and talk to them. And so free on YouTube, you'll basically get, sort of the edited interview. But if you're on the sort of the $5 third level, then you'll be able to see all the behind the scenes videos and the full video of interviews as well. And then I think the next thing is $10, which is then, so I'm going to do monthly assignments. So you can just do them and do them on your own and whatever level. If you don't want to show anybody your work and just do it quietly, you can kind of join in and do that. And then for $15, then you can be doing the assignments, but then you can join in with Hangouts as well, and we'll kind of have interactive tutorials to talk about the assignments and sort of share ideas, and in a kind of an art school kind of tutorial way. And then for $25, then you can have everything that you've had before, plus I'll send you an exclusive signed limited edition postcard once a month to do with the assignment. And then $50, if you're very generous, you'll get everything that I've said already. And let me remember, and a piece of original artwork signed, which one of the videos I've been doing that month. So that's basically kind of it. And the idea is You don't have to join. You don't have to do anything. I will carry on doing things on video, but there will be lots more going on Patreon. There will be videos that you won't be able to see on YouTube. And I think through Patreon, then there will be a kind of a group of people who are kind of really interested in drawing, and they will kind of set the tone and the direction of where the Shoo Rayner drawing channel goes from now on, really. And in the meantime, Draw Stuff Real Easy, I'm carrying on with that. And that's going to be very much aimed at schools and sort of homework and kind of school and sort of curriculum project ideas for how to draw things for school, basically. So that's basically what my Patreon page is all about. And it's up to you if you want to kind of join in and progress and do more interesting things than just watch videos. Because on YouTube, when I'm making videos for YouTube, I'm having to think kind of entertainment in a way rather than teaching, because YouTube's not terribly not that really interested in really teaching you how to draw. So I'm having to think how long a video is, and you know, got to cut this out and throw that out and just and then on Patreon, then I'm putting videos up on Vimeo, so you'll be able to see the videos from there. But they'll be much more relaxed, and there'll be time to breathe and time to explain things much better, particularly watercolor. I know a lot of people like me doing watercolor videos, which don't really work on YouTube because they're kind of long and slow, but you need to kind of watch and see. And those kind of long, slow videos don't really work on video on YouTube. So that's one of the reasons I want to do it. But I can't afford to do it unless I get a bit of support. So I hope that makes some sense. So let me see if we got any questions. So I'm getting absolutely no new questions on here at all on the stream. And oh, there we are. You see, I have to kind of refresh it every now and then. So no, I'm not getting any new questions on the thing. I can see there are 36 viewers. I'll have a look at Twitter again. I'm getting a lot more going on Twitter. Mahesh YT says, I'm hanging out on YouTube to talk about my new Patreon. But oh, yeah, well, that's yes, repeated. So so if you've got any questions, you can put them on Twitter. So I'm looking there. And oh, more comments below. Oh, I see. There we are. Oh, I see that they're going down below. Right. Okay. So I'm going. That's really cool. Patreon. Oh. Smiley face. I own 407. What about for $100? Can we invite you for tea? Well, there are. I'm kind of thinking that in time, one of the troubles is that it's a monthly thing. So so you're subscribing every month, and so if I was going to do like $100, invite you for tea, that would have to be a special one-off kind of offer, wouldn't it? But I'm thinking maybe then I'll be putting on my website, you know, that if you really need kind of personal tuition or to talk over a portfolio or something like that, or technical problems and things like that, then we can have a personal Skype call. But of course, that is going to cost a bit more. But that would be a one-off kind of payment kind of thing. Why does this stream work while all others are blocked in Germany? There is a thing about streams in Germany, I'm afraid, and I don't know why. Oh, I see. This is working in Germany. Oh, I see. Right. Okay. A monthly tea party. Well, I tell you what, I have got my cup of tea here. So if you've got your cup of tea there, cheers. There we are. In fact, a monthly tea party sounds like a very good idea, doesn't it? Let me find a piece of paper. I'm going to make a note. Here we are. In fact, I have got my book here. This is my Creative Academy notebook with lots of plans and things like that as I'm going along making ideas. So I'm going to write down there monthly tea party. I think sounds very good. That should be a celebratory kind of thing. Maybe at the end of an assignment, monthly tea party. And then everybody can bring cakes and eat them and draw them and show what they've done eating cakes and things like that. That sounds fun. Yeah. So what do we got? Monthly tea party. Ha ha. Hori Sung says. Koa hyperactive. What am I doing? Well, I'm here talking to a camera. Claudia Bubblespot says tea party. Yes. Sawmania says Germany is very special when it comes to copyright and YouTube and streams. It is. There's weird things goes on. Germany has different kind of. I don't know why. I know for instance, yes, she likes that idea. Chrissy, yeah, it is. Gemma blocks everything. Oh, Germany blocks everything usually. Yes, that's right. Yeah. But are you seeing this in Germany then? In which case, then that's good, isn't it? Tea party with Justin Bieber. I'm not a close personal friend to Justin Bieber, so I don't think he's sort of around to invite. So maybe I could invite people in for a tea party. That would be quite funny. Can you do a video on how to make art using the golden ratio? I've done a thing about the golden ratio. I know somebody commented recently about that. Was that you, Savio? Savio. Was that you commented recently on a golden thing? So yes, I'll make a note about that. I think about the golden ratio. Yes, so I'm making a note about that. Good. I'll put Savio asked. And I have to remember who asked all these things, don't I? Yeah, there we are. Right, what else can we go get? Can you do a video making a little bit? Melissa Rodriguez says, hello, how's your day been? I woke up really, really tired from my bird watching yesterday, which I mentioned earlier. And I think you can see my face is really red. I think maybe I got a little bit of sunstroke or something, a bit too much sun. So I was feeling a bit this today, and I had to do lots and lots of last minute things to get ready for this afternoon, to press buttons to launch things. So it's been but now I'm here and it feels like, yes, good, I've got everything done and it's working, sort of. It seems like nobody can join in, but that's, I don't know why. Or maybe you're just shy. Gemma is an institution for copyright. So I see. Is that the German something? Is it? I see. All right, I've got you. Yeah. Koa Hyperactive, I'm your fan. Yay! Thank you. Chrissy, a link to that Patreon page seems to be missing in this stream's description, by the way. Good. I will do that now. Info and settings, because I didn't know this had. Oh no, I'm losing it all over the place now. Patreon page link is http www.patreon.com/S-HOO-R-AYNER. There we go. And it says go live now, but I can't seem to update that. Oh, this is ridiculous. No, we can't do that. So this is all far too complicated. Oh, I can put. I could chat it in. Control room. I can't seem to just. I can't add to my links. Anyway, excuse me. The Patreon page is www.patreon.com/SHOO Rayner. You might find it. You don't need those capitals. Let me just check. You don't need the capital. So it's www.patreon.com, patreon.com/Shoo Rayner. And that's my Patreon page. There we go. And you'll find also on there, you'll see a little picture. There's a video of me there saying, let's build an art school together. And above it, it says home, and it says 21 creations. And if you click on that, you will see that I have done a whole how to draw course starting right at the beginning, just introducing you to the idea of drawing and pencils and working your way through. But you have to be paying $3 a month for that, I'm afraid, because I put a lot of work into that. So where are we now? Let me see, Jim, the link to the page seems to be missing. So yeah. Patreon user, thank you. Go to his website. There is a link to Patreon. Yeah, I've got links to it all over the place. It's midnight now in Malaysia. Bong, bong. So it means today is tomorrow in Malaysia. Happy tomorrow. Melissa Rodriguez Art says, take it easy. Do you think I'm kind of overdoing it here, or with the too much sun? James Jones says, how young are you? Go on then, how old do you think I am? Go on, but type that in. Hori Sung says 11. Does that mean, or who's asking who, how old who is? Anyway, is that James Jones asking Hori Sung how old they are, and they've written 11? Could have a series about art and mental health. That's a really good idea. Who is asking that one? That's Iona again. You've got some great ideas. Art and mental health. Maybe I could find somebody who kind of does art therapy in a hospital or something like that, and go and talk to them. And yeah, that's a really good idea. Because I mean, I think it's really good. I mean, I think you can. My first assignment that I'm doing, it's sort of about that in a way. It's about kind of working out your life, and I think you can. I think through art and drawing, you can kind of work out, you know, where you are in your life and your moods and things like that, and sort of work things out. Yeah. So, and then you know, I think if you've had, you know, real mental problems and things and had a breakdown or something, I think art is a wonderful thing to kind of, you know, work things out and bring yourself back together again. So it's an excellent idea. Now, where are we? James Jones says, it costs money. Why? Because I can't afford to eat otherwise. Okay, it's very simple. You can't get everything for free on the internet. I'll still be making the YouTube videos that I normally do. YouTube is extraordinary. You get so much for free, but you can't get everything for free in life, I'm afraid. People have got to eat. And I can't keep doing all these videos without being paid. I'm sorry. So Co-op Hyperactive, your videos are amazing, Melissa. Where is that? So are you saying that to me or to Melissa? Is there a Melissa above? I can't see it. Melissa Rodriguez. Indeed. I've got to go and have a look at Melissa. I'm sure I've looked at Melissa before. Oh, I'm not sure I have. Here we are. I'm going to subscribe to you right now. Here we are. Oh yes. I think I've got to also sort of reach out and do all sorts of collaborations with other artists on YouTube as well. I think so. Soul Maniac says, yes, that would be interesting. Will my academy be available in Malaysia? I think so. It's all down to, I mean, if you try going on to Patreon and try subscribing, then you'll know. If it says you can't, then you can't. I'm really not really sure who can and can't, because it all depends on, you know, agreements around the world. So it's not up to me. But I think that at least the way I was doing it before, I could only do it with really, you know, a very limited number of countries. I think this way a lot more countries can join in. Amber Nam, it's past midnight here and tomorrow. Hello tomorrow then, in Korea. I only think I'm 47. Thank you. James Jones says I look like I'm 45. Chris says he can't read this chat. Well, yes, I can read this chat, Chris, because I just read that. Amber Nam says he's reading it right now. Yeah. I'm starting to practice drawing people. Any tips, says Adam Rolfe. It depends kind of what you want to do. I think a really good thing to do is just to carry a sketchbook around with you the whole time, and you know, wherever you are, standing in a bus queue or sitting in a cafe, if you're watching TV with your family, don't watch the TV, draw your family. Just constantly draw people in all sorts of shapes and situations, and just sketch. And if I don't know how old you are, and whether you're allowed to go or whatever, but if there's a life drawing class anywhere near you, see if you can go to that, and you know, you get people showing you, and it's naked people, you know, but drawing the body. It's kind of understanding what is going on underneath all those clothes. And in fact, when I was at art school, we had this great week once a year. Excuse me. We had a great week once a year where we'd spend a day on a different historical period, and the art model would come along, and we'd start off doing nude drawing just to get warmed up, and then they would start getting dressed. And they would put on all the undergarments, and they would draw them with undergarments. And then with Victorian clothes, you know, they'd be putting on hoops and all these layers and layers of clothing. And so we were understanding how all those layers of clothing work, and kind of building it up stage by stage with our drawings. And that was really, really good. And also get yourself an anatomy book. I know the Dorling Kindersley anatomy book is really, really good. And just study the body, because it's the most extraordinary thing, the way it twists around and does things. So what else have we got? Pencil and Paper Addict. Shoo is obviously in his early 30s. I think you're probably very right there. Are the videos on Patreon going to be regular, like 2 to 3 videos a week or something like that? Yes, I think very much along those lines. So there'll be, I think, one or two sort of videos as usual, Monday, Friday on YouTube, and then others in between, and kind of building on the videos that you see in YouTube for free. So a very international chat. UK, Korea, Malaysia. I'm from Germany. Yes, it is very. Janie Halney says you're amazing at drawing. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Ember Nam says hello, Germany. Aya Sheltaf, hello, artist. I'm from Palestine. Hi, how are you in Palestine? It really is all around the world, isn't it, James? Is this a good time as well for kind of meeting up with people? Because it's kind of early day in the States, and kind of getting late in Middle East and Far East at the moment, so it's kind of difficult, isn't it? Yeah, it's for finding a time that suits everybody. And I think everybody in Australia is probably fast asleep by now. James Jones is from New York. Gamer says you draw good, thank you. So cool. Batman Duck, hi Batman Duck. Melissa Rodriguez, yes, you're an amazing artist and person. Keep it up. Just want to say hello. I have to run out to work now. Good luck with this new project. Well, thank you very much. And I'm going to have a much longer look at your channel, and have a good time at work. And thanks for the good luck there. Jenny Hanley, where did I get the idea for Patreon? Well, I got the idea, as I was saying earlier, for I know there are a lot of people who kind of want to do art schooly kind of things, but they can't get to art school. They can't afford to get to art school, or they think they're too young, they think they're too old, or any number of reasons. You might not be able to leave the house, or you might be stuck at home. All sorts of reasons. And I thought I could kind of build up an art school online, and I tried all sorts of ways. I've been learning all sorts of things on, running websites and things, but I didn't want to have to run a website as well, because that is a full-time job on its own. And then I thought I could do it through YouTube. It was a couple of weeks ago. I put a lot of work into it, and as soon as I started, I realized it wasn't going to work because of all sorts of reasons. But I only found out those reasons once I pressed the button and started. So I stopped that. And then lots of people came on leaving messages saying, have I tried Patreon? And I'd looked at something like Patreon a couple of years ago, I think called Subbable. And they couldn't work. They wouldn't let me do it because I'm in the UK and they're in the States. And it was very complicated. And I hadn't really heard of Patreon. And in fact, Patreon have now taken over Subbable, because Subbable they were working through Amazon, and it just wasn't going to work anymore. So everybody's moved over from there to Patreon now. And when I went over and had a look at Patreon, had a really good look at how it worked, I thought, whoa, this is the way to do it. And the way I did it before, everybody had to come in at one price, and this way you can come in and say, I don't want to do the full thing, but I like doing this little part here, and you can kind of join in. The deeper you want to sort of be involved, you can join in different levels. So or if you're just very generous and you want me to carry on making YouTube videos, you can just sort of say, I want to support you, which is what it's about. So that's how I heard about Patreon. It was lots of viewers of my videos saying to me, why don't I try Patreon? Jenny Hanley, oh, by the way, I love your videos. Thank you very much. Chrissy says, lol, a massive 3-minute delay in the chat. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, well, I'm seeing myself kind of 3 minutes ago as well while I'm doing this. Hannah Simova, hello from your official Patreon page. Have you become my first patron? Let me just check here. Let's have a look. Does this say anything? What does this say? Dun, 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 dun. Whoa, thank you very much. There we are. Got my first patron. And does it? So you've just got a little grayed out picture. Hannah Simova. Well, thank you very, 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 very much. You're my first patron. I'm going to write that down now so I don't forget. Hannah Simova, because you've got little accents that Simova, Shimova. I don't know. I am OVA. Where are you from, Hannah? Hannah or oh, Hannah? I think it should be. Yes. Thank you very much, Hannah. You're my very first patron. There you are. Urgia, I don't know. Style. Anyway. Sorry, I come late for. What is he talking? You can drawing in the back says Janie Halney. Where is it? Let's see. Where is it? Where is it? Yes, it is. It's there somewhere, isn't it? Yes. There. That's not easy to do. There we go. Douglas Hogg, hi, good draw, thank you. Sarah Crystal, you're amazing, Shoo Rayner. Thank you very much, thank you. Saul Main says, to me, the hardest part about drawing is the look. Everything I draw looks amateurish and not very skilled. I can't catch this pro cartoon style. I do know what you mean, and it's really, really difficult. And it is practice, practice, practice. But it's just not doing it again and again and again. It's what's the word? It's being intelligent about it. So every time you draw something, when you're finished, you look at it and go, that bit is good. And you pat yourself on the back, say, well done, that's really good. I've really got that tiny bit, but this bit here isn't working right. And then you've got to really look and say, you know, take it a bit at a time and see how other people do it. And just say, I'm going to get that right next time, or try it this way, try it that way, and then suddenly it will click. And slowly you develop this freedom and a style that just comes and it's yours. And it's time and practice. And the more practice you put in, the sooner you will get there. It's just how, you know, how it goes. So Soul Maniac, practice. You will get there. Nowhere says, do not draw naked people. This is wrong. Well, it's not if you're in art school. So and I don't know where you are. I don't know where you live. So maybe in your country it is seen as wrong, but in my country it's what we do in art school. And in kind of Western art, it's kind of how you learn to draw people. Amberdam, I'm having a hard time drawing hands in various poses. Do you have any tips? Well, you have at least got this model, you know, so you can draw with one hand and you can watch the other one, and just every day, put your hand into a position and draw it. And I just keep looking at it. The hands are the most complicated things. When I was at art college, we were taught by a guy called Richard Jacobs, and that was his job, was drawing hands, basically. In the old days, a long time ago, before photography got really good and printing photographs got really good, all the kind of do-it-yourself books, which showed you kind of how to strip wallpaper and how to bang a nail in a wall, they were all done with these little line drawings, and there were about 3 or 4 people in the country that did them, and my lecturer was one of them. And in fact, I worked with him when I left college. I worked with him for a little while, and I would do the pencil sketches, and he inked them in because he has this very special way of inking them in. And hands are a nightmare. They're just so malleable, I think, and whatever you do, they look different. And so you just have to draw them and draw them and draw them. And if people will pose for you, that's really good. Have a look at photographs. Find a photograph at hand. Just work it out, and look at how other people draw hands. It's another thing, because everybody has their own funny little way of seeing things, and just look and draw. It's the answer to everything, basically. So Sarah Crystal, how do you make it look smooth? I'm not quite sure what I'm making. Oh, what am I making? You'll have to tell me, Sarah Crystal. Oh, how do you make your drawings look smooth around the edges? I'm not quite sure what you mean there. I mean, there's one thing, you know, I'm not quite sure. I mean, if you kind of plan out what size you want your drawing to be, then you can just sort of draw up. You can put pencil lines in, draw up to the edge, and then erase the pencil line afterwards. I'm not quite sure what you mean. Or you could do lots and lots of things with Photoshop afterwards, or you know, image manipulation program. So if you've drawn it, then you can scan it, and then you can smooth out the edges and things if you want to. Does that answer your question? Aniela, greetings from Singapore. You are amazing and such fun and interesting person. Haha. If you were my relative, you'd be my most favorite person. Well, thank you very much. Iona407 says, sorry, I have to go. I'll watch back later. Okay. This should be available, I think, afterwards. I will make it available. Adam Rolf says, okay, thank you for the tips. Sarah Crystal, how do you make drawings look smooth? We've had that. We are. It's a good time for me, says Nowhere. Good. Jane Halley, I come from Finland. It's about 7 p.m. here. It's about 5:10 here. Oh, we know. Have I missed something there? Finland, about 7. Koa Hyperactive. I'm from Vietnam. Goodness me. Harrison Neo says it's always a good time to be able to chat with the master. Thank you. I'm blushing here. No, I'm not. I'm sunburned. Hort Ri Sung, can I draw a Minecraft logo? Well, I don't. It's very, very difficult. I know lots and lots of people ask me to kind of draw logos and, you know, cartoon characters and everything, and I know there are a lot of people on YouTube that do them, so you know, they are there to be seen, but it's a little bit funny with copyright, and I know I've kind of done things like how to draw Thunderbirds and Daleks and everything, but that's slightly different. Whereas, you know, I think drawing a physical object like a you know, C3PO or R2D2, it's kind of drawing a 3D object and not a copyright character. Whereas something like Batman, if you're drawing a cartoon, then you really the copyright gets very, very complicated. And I think, in fact, they probably don't mind you doing it, but it's getting very questionable on copyright. So I don't do things like that. And since I kind of rely on my living on copyright, I try not to step on other copyright holders' toes. So I know a lot of people, they just go ahead and draw stuff on YouTube, but I don't. Rodney Words, do you know of any good anatomy programs for artists that you can download on the computer? No, I don't. There used to be a thing called Poser. Can you still get that? There was a program called Poser. Yeah, Poser, 3D computer graphics program optimized for 3D modeling of human figures. So yeah, go and have a look at Poser. Just type in P-O-S-E-R. But I don't use anything like that at all. Also, I love sense of humor in your videos, so keep up the good work. Thank you, Rodney. Andreas Brace says hello. Hort Ri Sung says hi. Miss Beth, hello, Mr. Rayner from upstate New York. Hello there, how are you? And Saltmania, thank you for the advice. I guess I really have to draw much more often. I have to go now. Thank you for all your videos. Love your work. Have a nice evening. Thank you. And maybe we'll meet on here again. Gerardo Mongolo smiles. Matthew Brooks, hello. I'm doing my art GCSE. We're moving on to surrealism. I was wondering if you can give me any tips on the subject. Oh dear. Well, you want to have a look at a lot of Dali and things, don't you? I think, I don't know. I've been to see a couple of Dali exhibitions, and I come away feeling like it's junk food. Does that make sense? When I've been to see surrealist paintings, I went to see all the. I was in Brussels recently, so I went to the Magritte. They got a whole massive building dedicated to Magritte, and I know when I was much younger and I started getting into art, and I really liked Magritte. And now when I look at him, it's a bit like fast food, and it doesn't give me that. I kind of go, nice image, and so I think I would say if you're going to be doing surrealism, try and put a bit more depth into it, I think. So a lot of it is about, you know, sort of dripping watches, and it's kind of like dreams, isn't it, I suppose. And it's kind of painting your dreams, and your dreams are really exciting, aren't they? You know, I have amazing dreams, and I wake up and I go, oh, I had this amazing dream last night, and Mrs. Rayner goes, oh no, and I have to tell her all about my amazing dream, and then halfway through I forget quite what happened in the dream, and she's yawning away because I'm telling her this really boring story, which was really exciting to me as a dream. And if you've ever heard other people telling you about their dreams, and you go, oh, they're really boring. And it's kind of what surrealism is about. It's kind of painting your dreams, and it's really interesting for you, and maybe not so interesting for others. So I think if you're going to be interesting as a surrealist, I think it's making your dreams interesting to other people and kind of explaining them a bit more. Does that make any sense? Right, there you go, Matthew. But anyway, have fun having a look at all those surrealists. I know when I was younger, I loved them. And I think you just go through phases through life where you learn, you know, the things that I love now, I just did not get when I was younger, and I think it's just experience, and you just kind of move on and like different things in different stages of your life. But I'm not putting down surrealism. I really do remember how excited I was seeing some sort of surreal, you know, Dali and the dripping watches and things, and they're fantastic graphic images. And that there are other things that I find give me more spiritual kind of sustenance. Does that make any sense? It's the difference between a McDonald's burger and something, you know, a bit more foodie. Does that make sense? Right, where are we now? Natalia PS. Would love to hear some tips on materials, a starter kit for those starting to draw. All you need is paper and pencil. Absolutely, that's all you need. Get yourself a softish pencil, but an HB will do, and that really is all you need is a paper and a pencil, and just start. Many people go, oh well, I would, but I haven't got anything to work with, and they've got a notepad, they've got a pencil. There's nothing stopping you from starting. I think almost everybody in the world could find something, the back of a cardboard box or an old biro, something, a piece of rock to scratch on it. Everybody can find something to make a drawing with. Cavemen, they've scratched rocks on caves. There's nothing to stop you drawing. Just do it. Okay. And then as you and every time you draw something, you think, oh, it would be so much better if I had and then you'll know what it is you need. And as part of the excitement and part of the fun and the journey of learning to draw is finding new things all the time and trying new things, and eventually going back to what you were saying earlier, you know, developing your style and not looking amateurish. It's finding the things that really suit you and the things that you can work with best. So just start with anything and just build up. Sour Crystal 3D. Yes. Well, my drawing course that I've done on Patreon is kind of starts from a very, very small point. If you've ever looked on Draw Stuff Real Easy, I did a thing there about Euclid, who kind of invented geometry, and he starts with just a point in space and then another point in space and draws a line, and then he puts another point, and then he joins them up and you get a triangle, and then another point you get a square, and then another point, and until in the end, millions of points makes a circle. And while I was working all that out, I realized this is how you learn to draw 3D things as well. So I've kind of taken that approach, and I've put this into this my Everyone Can Draw course on the Patreon page, and so that will kind of bring you up to start getting an understanding of how to draw 3D. And yes, I'm going to write down draw more 3D or about 3D, because it isn't really 3D when you're drawing, it's really 2D, but it's a 3D effect. And it's kind of it's making it appear 3D on a 2D surface. I don't know. Have you seen there's a video going around at the moment where there's millions of views on where the guy's drawing a glass of water, and then he kind of cuts it out, and then it kind of looks like it's really on the table, and it's standing up, and he turns a piece of paper around, and you realize it's a drawing. So that's kind of, yeah. It's not really 3D. It's the kind of an impression, but it's 2D pretending to be 3D. Chrissy, pencil and paper. How do I go about planning a story? Well, I'm thinking of doing that on one of my courses as well, because I'm just writing down planning story. That again is a lot of experience, but I'll give you a very quick tip for planning a story. Is you have probably been told at school millions and millions of times, a story has a beginning and a middle and an end. Start at the end. Work out where it's going. It's like going on a journey. You get a map and you say, I'm here, but this is where I want to go. And you work out where you want to go. And so then you go back to the beginning. You go, how do I get there? And you work out a route from the beginning to the end. But if you know what the ending is going to be, then that's half the job. And you can just sort of fill in the bits in between. Does that make sense? Right. Johnny, taste test. Do I own a cat? Yes, I have 3. It's not Mittens. Do I love Mittens? How much do I love Mittens? It's not Mittens. I have 3 cats. One is called Shula. She is very old, and hair falling out. She has to sit all over me every evening, and I get covered in hair and dandruff. She's very, very old. She's 19 now, and then we have a younger one called Fizz, and she's kind of grey with dark grey spots. And then we have her son, who's called Mr. Darcy, who is jet black. So he has 2 little white hairs just there. And yes, we love them all, but their name's not Mittens. Claudia Bubblesbach, for the Hangouts on Patreon level 5, are you organising separate ones for different time zones? I think that is what I'm going to have to do. I mean, obviously, it's an evolving kind of thing, and I think different time zones. I'm just writing this down. Claudia at Bubblesbach, right? Claudia at Bubblesbach, and I can probably come back and check this chat stream. Hangouts for time zones. Yeah, and I think it depends on how many people are join and how many where they are in the world and that kind of thing. And yes, and I think the more people, I'm going to have to do more hangouts at different times of the day. So sometimes I'm going to have to get up quite early in the morning. Sometimes I'm going to have to stay up quite late at night. So yes, I've thought ahead on that. Eminem, thank you for the tip. I practice drawing my own hands, saw references, etc. But it's still so hard. I guess the key is drawing over and over again until I get skill at it. It is the key to everything, I'm afraid. If you type into YouTube Shoo Rayner drawing left hand, you will see on left hand day, I tried drawing my right hand with my left hand, which felt very, very complicated. Nowhere. Do I like Harry Potter novels? Yes and no. When the first one came out, I read the first one. J.K. Rowling used to live very close to where I live. She was brought up just down the road from here. And I'll just have some more tea. Tea party! J.K. Rowling was brought up very close to here. And in fact, in the last film, they came to the Forest of Dean, which is where I live. And they filmed around here. And in the story, it's set there. And the first book came out, and the head teacher at the local school said to me, "You've got to read this book. It's fantastic." And nobody had heard of it. And and I didn't read it. and it's a real shame, because the school at the time, they were shadowing the Carnegie Prize. So all the school got to read it very soon after the book came out, and they were studying it and voting for it, and she won the Carnegie Medal for it, the first book. And part of their prize for having been involved in that was J.K. Rowling came to visit the school. And I could have gone and seen her then, and I didn't. I think I was busy or something. And she was signing hardback books, because that's all she had at the time. So quite a few people bought hardback copies, and I couldn't have bought hardback copies, which eventually sold for sort of £5,000 or $7,000 or $8,000 or something, signed copies, originals. But never mind. And I've never met her. I've been, because I go to quite a lot of literary festivals and things, and I get there and they say, oh, we had J.K. Rowling here yesterday, and so I've never actually met her. And so I really loved the first book, and then the second book, it started off and it was kind of seemed almost identical to the first book. And I kind of stopped reading then, but my daughter just absolutely loved them, and so I kind of sort of half read them through her. She kept telling me what it was all about, and so. But yes, she's a great writer. I'm loving her new book. She's writing as somebody called J.K. Galbraith or something, or no, something. Anyway, it's not J.K. Galbraith, because J.K. Galbraith is an economist. Anyway, Galbraith. So she's writing grown-up books now, which I'm really enjoying. She's a very good storyteller. Evan Parsons, never knew there was copyright on drawing images. Oh, yes, there is copyright on absolutely everything. As soon as you draw an image, you have copyright on it, unless you've copied somebody else's image, of course. If you come up with something, you know, come up with your own design, you have copyright on it. Leonardo Gallica, Shoo, I made an app to your channel. Please, if you like the idea, I can send you the link via email. That would be very, very interesting. Yes. If you go to Shoo Rayner Drawing, you will find email links on there, shooraynerdrawing.com or shoorayner.com. You'll find email links on there. That'd be very interesting. Did you mention it on Draw Stuff Real Easy? Because I wasn't able to answer you. I did another video recently about how people have changed their settings on G+. There's a funny mark on my computer. People have set a funny, G+ have reset people's comment settings, which means that I can't comment on people's things. And I know somebody, was it you, Leonardo? I think you're in South America. I can't remember. Brazil, maybe. I can't remember. And I wasn't able to comment, but I gave you a thumbs up. So send me an email via shooraynerdrawing.com or shoorayner.com, and I'll look out for that. It'll be interesting. Chris C, everything someone made is copyrighted. It is. It's just, you make it, it's copyright. And some people get very cross about copyright, but it means that the person who creates something, creates a piece of music, creates a movie or whatever, says, this is mine. And you know, I've spent a lot of time and effort doing this, and I need to get paid. And you can't just go out and copy it and sell it. That's, you can just draw it. You can draw it and copy it if you want like that. But it's doing it kind of commercially, and sort of selling things, and it kind of gets difficult on YouTube, because I get a share of advertising revenue, and so I will not do copyright things on YouTube, although many people do. Aurora 1704 says, about 3 years ago you answered my question about creating a portfolio. You've got some good drawings on your thing there. Thank you for that. I'm almost done with graphic design school now. Cool. About 3 years ago, yes, you've done a 3-year degree course. Oh my goodness, I've been on YouTube that long. Frank Getter, hi Frank, how are you? The thing you did with the glass was cool to flatten the object. Try it with a mirror, doing hands. Well, I didn't do that. It wasn't me doing that thing with the glass. No, but I was just saying how somebody's doing that. Doing it with a mirror, doing hands. Yes. Yeah, there's probably all sorts of things like that to be done, isn't there? Yeah, well, yeah, with a hand, and a mirror, and so having the depth to it as well. That's a good idea, that, Frank. Yeah. How are you, Frank? I hope you're well. There's lots of kind of names coming up which I kind of recognise and who have been commenting backwards and forwards over the years. Leonardo Galacio. Hi, I made it. Yeah, we've got that. So yeah, have I done that before? Is that a repeat? Yeah. So yeah, as I said, Leonardo, just send me an email from ShooRaynerdrawing.com or ShooRayner.com. And FLKX says, hey, Shoo Rayner, hey, FLKX, hey. But now it's 1 a.m. now in here, and sadly I have to go to sleep. It was so much fun talking with you, you amazing artist and person. I love your art from the bottom of my heart. Bye. Thank you very much, Ember. And good night. Sleep tight. Michelangelo, hello from the basement. So yeah. Evan Parsons says, don't I use an iMac? Yes, I do. Did I say something else? Michael Snido, a happy smile. Xiujin Kim, is that Xiujin Kim? Sorry if I get pronunciations wrong. Hello, Mr. Rayner. Can you do a Phoenix tutorial? That'd be really cool. Yeah, that's a good idea, isn't it? I think people have mentioned that before. Phoenix. XIU. I'm writing this to XIUJIN. XIUJIN. Kim says Phoenix. Yeah, that's a good idea. Good idea. Leonardo Galacia, because I can't send the link here. Yeah, if you go to ShooRayner.com or ShooRaynerdrawing.com, you'll find a link that says contact, and you'll be able to send a link. You'll be able to send an email to me from there. Pan Cogito says, hey Pan. Leonardo Galaccio, do I like the idea of having an app for my channel? It sounds cool. I have to see what you have in mind. Pan Cogito, Ave. I'm not quite sure about that. Gerardo Mongalo, thanks for the tips. I wish I got here sooner. Anyway, do I have any tips on proportion? That's my main problem. Thanks. It's funny that, because I'm getting really interested in kind of 14th and 15th century painting at the moment, where proportion depended on how important the person was. And I'm kind of starting to think that way for illustration. I think proportion, yeah, proportion, I think you need to think in terms of, what am I thinking? Perspective. If you do some work on perspective, you'll see how things work in proportion to each other. And if you mean in proportions of sort of human figure, you know, the head and things, then you'll find in books, many books, it will say, you know, sort of 7 heads to a body or something like that. What an extraordinary noise outside. Motorbikes, a whole stream of motorbikes going past. You got a biker gang and something. Anyway, proportions for bodies and things like that, you'll find that you know, it's kind of 7 heads or something, but it's different for ages and things like that. It's just, you got to find yourself a book on drawing proportions. But I think I should do something on that myself. You're absolutely right. So proportions, and I'll put relative proportions as well, which comes into kind of perspective. Yeah, good. So I made a note of that. And that's Gerardo Mongalo. There we are. Gerardo Mongalo. There we go. Lex says, hello from Singapore. Hello, how are you? I went to Singapore once. I don't know, about 5 years ago, I think. I visited the Tanglin School out there. About, oh, where are we now? Oh, I've lost something. 1 a.m. Do I use an iMac? Yes, I do. proportional everything about 3 years ago. You answered my question. Yes, that's a 1074. Say this. No, I'm not, because it's probably very rude in in Portuguese or something, or is that Polish or something? Man, Patinka, I don't know. I'm going to put that into Google Translate first. I'm going to check. You see, I'm not that stupid. There we are. What do we got? It says it's what language? I like Shoo Rayner drawings. That's good. That's okay. So Lithuanian. So Snymux Brockman. Man Patinka Shoo Rayner Io Piesinia. Piesinia. I don't know. There we are. Dan Spataru. Hey man. Hi. Judith White. Hi for Indiana Shoot. How do you spell that? Magritte. Magrite. Magritte. And he was a very famous Belgian painter, 20th century. He's the guy who did the men in the bowler hats. And he kind of dressed in a suit every day. He kind of went to work as an artist. He dressed in a suit with a bowler hat. And of course, they love him in Belgium. Gerardo Mongala. Everyone, don't forget to like the vid. Oh, right. Thank you. There we are. Oh, I can do that. I only got 23 likes. Okay. Everybody hit that like button right now. And I'm going to see that in, I think there's about like a 20-30 second delay. So let's see if it goes 24 at the moment. Let's see if it goes shooting up. Everybody hit the like button. Have I ever tried using graphic tablets? I'm actually using one right now. I don't use a a mouse at all. So I use a graphic tablet. I don't really draw with it though. I've tried drawing, and I've been using computers since 1993, I think. So that's like over 20 years. Well, I've been using computers since I got my ZX81. So that's since 1981 I've been using computers. But I've been using computers graphically since about 1993. I got my first graphic tablet probably in about 1997. And it's just, I don't know, it's just not, it just doesn't do it for me. It's again, it's like the fast food thing. And when I'm drawing on a piece of paper, there's a real connection. You're physically connected to that piece of paper. You're physically connected to your pen. And when I draw on a tablet, it slides around on the tablet, and when I draw on the screen, it's the same material, and it's the same. It just always looks the same. I don't know how I can explain it. The computer lets you draw really, really slick things, and quite often I will draw and then scan in and add things. So I've been using the computer enhancing drawings for a long time. I did a whole series of books in about 1999 where I drew and painted everything, and then did massive amounts of work in Photoshop, fading things into the background and blurring and doing all sorts of effects. And it's so boring. The actual doing it is really, really boring. So whereas when you're actually physically attached to a piece of paper and drawing, you're just there and excited in the real time. And drawing on computers just doesn't do it for me. I'm sorry. But then I watch other people doing videos and I go, wow. I watch how other people do it. And I don't think it's that I'm too old to learn new tricks. I've tried, and I've been always at the forefront of technology, and it just didn't interest me or excite me. So Leonardo Galaccio, please draw an Apple Watch. Yeah, I should probably do that, shouldn't I? Yeah. Leonardo Galaccio. Apple Watch. Has anybody got an Apple Watch? I think they're pointless at the moment. At the moment, I think they're pointless. You've got to charge them up every day, and you have to have an iPhone next to you to make anything work, really. Pencil Paper Addict, Dali and the Surrealists, I feel were good at the time of modernism. Now we're in a postmodern one. It's just stuffy and almost not good enough. Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I went to see a Dali exhibition, and one or two things I really liked, but it was the graphics that I liked. They weren't kind of works of art as such, and there were some things I really liked in a graphic way, and his graphic technique. It was the prints that I liked, and I think it was the graphic design of them I liked. But yeah, I agree with you, Pencil and Paper Addict. It's things move on, don't they? And at the time, it seems something seemed really exciting and really wild, and then you go on, and after a while you look back at it and go, oh, maybe is this going to stand the test of time? And some things do and some things don't. Some things then go out of fashion, and then maybe 100 years time everybody goes, well, wait a minute, this was really, really good. But I think surrealism maybe we got to go a bit forward a bit. It was things like the toilet. Marcel Duchamp, who sort of got a urinal and signed it. That was just the beginning of the end, really. and I think he did it as a joke, really, and everybody took it seriously, which was the problem. So anyway, Andreas Bryce, I really should draw, but must give strong. I'm not quite sure what you mean. I really should draw. It's if you want to draw well, you have to draw lots, and it's finding the time and commitment. And I think what happens is people start drawing, and they reach a point where they go, oh, they get too frustrated, and some people just give up and they never do it again. Some people carry on, and then they reach a point where they think, I'm not going to be brilliant, but they like doing it, and they carry on as a hobby. And they just carry on because they love drawing. And then some people, they just want to keep going, and they want to make a living out of it. And then you have to kind of really dedicate yourself that bit further. And then if you want to be really rich and famous, you kind of got to really dedicate yourself further again, and you need a certain amount of luck there. I think there's this big finger of fate kind of points down to some people and says, we've chosen you, but it's kind of originality and all sorts of things, and there are these kind of hurdles along the way, and you got to keep. I'm mixing my metaphors. You got to keep climbing up the ladder rung by rung, but at every rung you can stop and go, okay, I'm happy where I am. I'm going to carry on doing what I'm doing just because I enjoy it. So, but to get really good at drawing, you've got to put the hours in, I'm afraid. What about a rock and a chisel? You can draw with a rock and chisel. Evan Parsons said. You can draw with anything. So where are we? Now, Leonardo Galasio, I said several times, and you said you've made an app for my channel. Please, can you tell me if you like? So if you contact, I haven't got my mail on. That's why. Let me see if you got a message come through. So yeah, I'd love to know about the app that you've done, Leonardo. And like I said, if you go to here we are. What do we got? So that's great. So we've got 2 new people joining on Patreon. Fantastic. Claudia Lanning, Vicol, Lane Cannon, Susan Diet, thank you very, very, very much. So you're the first, you're the third, fourth, second, third, and fourth people to join. Thank you very much. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. We're going to have a lot of fun. And I had an assignment already at the beginning of the month, and it all got muddled up. So I'm going to start the first assignment 1st of June, and we'll do an assignment each month. And I've got a great assignment all set up, and I kind of did it. I'm going to redo it, I think, because of the way Patreon works rather than the way I was doing it before, the Creative Academy. But so we're going to have fun, and thank you very much. We'll be doing that. So you're involved, and we'll start working from here. So thank you very much. Now, so in which case I haven't heard from you, Leonardo, who has made an app. If you're watching, go to shoorayner.com or shooraynerdrawing.com, and you will find a button up there that says contact. If you fill in the form, you can email me from there and tell me all about the app. Okay, I'll look forward to hearing from you. FLKX, I love Draw Stuff Real Easy. I spent hours on their videos. I love your voice too. And just signed up for Patreon. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Ruka Nero sends lots of hearts from Japan. Is that? There's a little Japanese flag there. I went to Tokyo once a long time. Oh, I loved it there. I spent 2 days in Tokyo. And I went on a day trip to Mount Fuji. And I spent a day going around the temple in, I can't remember, in Tokyo. And I feel I haven't finished with Japan. I must go to Japan again. I always wanted to go to Japan as a child, and I got there just for 2 days. I was on my way to Guam. I went visiting schools there. Drew Game says, do I like dogs? I think dogs like me more. I do like dogs, but I get some dogs I'm a bit allergic to, so I'm slightly worried about. I think it's kind of long-haired dogs that kind of make my chest go. Ah! So I'm always slightly take my time to get to know a dog, and yet dogs love me. They leap all over me and bounce all over me, and I kind of understand dogs. You know, you kind of have to be their master, and you know, so I know that, and I can I can look at a dog and make them sit. A bit like, I'm not quite a dog whisperer, but I understand dogs, and they know that I understand them. And but I can't live with dogs. I just can't. I'm a cat person. I did try to have a dog once, and I just cannot live with a dog. I don't know what it is. Many years ago, I nearly ran away with the circus, and the circus people all had cats, which I was really surprised by. And the man who owned the circus, it was the ringmaster in his top hat and everything, he was telling me that people split into 2 kinds. There are dog people and cat people. And dog people like playing team games, and they like, you know, all joining in together, going woof, 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 like a pack. And cat people like to do things quietly on their own. And sometimes I like to join in. I like to be in a team and doing stuff. But I like mostly being on my own, doing quiet things. So I'm really a cat person. And so circus people are cat people too, because they're very individual, and they're doing their individual kind of style and thing stuff, and they're living in their own little caravans, and that they bring their caravans up, and the cats all kind of live with each caravan, and they have their own little kind of, every time they move, they have their own little territory around the caravan and everything. So I'm really a cat person, but I do like dogs. Dogs love me, but I'm allergic to some of them. There you go. Romeo Vera, I just want to say you really love my art. Thank you very much, Style. And Alex737 says, what's up? Gerardo Mongano said, how do you draw without inspiration? Oh, that's difficult, isn't it? There are days when you wake up and you just feel bleh. And what you have to do is you just sit down at your desk and you start making marks and you start drawing anything, and then your mind starts going, wait a minute, whoa, if I draw that bit, and then suddenly you'll start getting excited, the marks lead you into something, and you throw that piece of paper away, and then you start drawing. And you cannot wait for inspiration. You just got to start scribbling, and it will come. The longer you keep saying, I can't draw because I haven't got the inspiration, the longer you will not draw anything. You just got to get down and do it. Just do it. Okay. Leonardo Glacier. Hi, I made an app for you. I know, Leonardo, you got to send me an email. I've had something come in now. Lane Cannon, thank you very much. Just edited thing. There we are. Leonardo, you have to email me. Go to shoorayner.com or shooraynerdrawing.com. Is that? And then FLKX, thank you very much. Joined Patreon. Thank you very much. Leonardo, go to shoorayner.com or shooraynerdrawing.com, one of my websites, and you will see up at the top contact. It says click that button and there will be a form. You can type in there and send me an email. Okay. Romeo Vire, do I like photography? I just kind of point and shoot, really. And I think I prefer drawing, really. I think it's difficult, isn't it? I think it's because I can draw, I suppose. And I love looking at photographs, and I suppose I take quite a few photographs. I take lots of photographs on my phone now, and I've had fancy cameras, but I don't really use them anymore. And I find that if I've got a camera with me, then I will tend not to draw. So sometimes it's best not to have a camera with you and just have a sketchbook, and then you kind of force yourself to draw because you've got to remember the moment. Does that make sense? So, I mean, there's different things about photography, aren't there? I mean, there's just snapping, and I use photography a lot for reference work. If I think, oh, I need that detail, then I'll just photograph it in case I need it later. And then there's photography, which is just, snapping your friends and family, and, which is your family album kind of thing. But then serious photography, then it gets quite technical, and I get quite frustrated if you've got that image in your mind and then it doesn't come out. So I'll fiddle about in Photoshop, but I'm not very good at fiddling about with the camera itself and kind of working out how you should set the camera up for the photograph. Does that make sense? So and I haven't really got an eye for photography. When I see real photographers, I think, oh, how did they see that? Because I'll still, I'll have pylons sticking out of people's heads and things like that. I don't see things that other photographers see, if you know what I mean. So where are we now? Another Kent Paul says, hello, everybody. Gerardo Montgomery, hello, don't forget to like this vid. You see, now there's still only 24 likes. Go on, click that thumbs up button. What is she reading his questions from? Well, I am reading the questions from the comments box. I'm getting a list of comments down. So I think down below the video that you are watching, there should be a comments thing that you can fill in. And because I can't see that because I'm on the other end of it. So I'm getting a comment stream here. Zachary Henderson, hey Shoo, I'm English and I live in France. Ah, bonjour. I study graphic design and you are my inspiration. Thank you very much. So thank you. Well, thank you too. And so you kind of studying graphic design in France. I imagine you're getting a different perspective on graphic design there, and they love their bande dessinée, don't they? Which is comics to you and me. But the French have a very sort of special way with comics, which they call bande dessinée, which is kind of band designs. So the band is like the strip cartoon kind of thing, isn't it? Alex 17 said, hey, I like to draw, but sometimes I want to draw something cool, but nothing comes on my mind, so I don't know what to draw, and what it draws ugly. How can you draw? I think it's like I said before, you just got to draw something, and it's kind of like a warm-up. You know, I mean, if you're going, you know, if you're going to a football, you know, if you're playing in a football team or something, you need to warm up beforehand to be in really good shape. So it's the same with drawing. You know, sometimes you're lucky, you go straight in and draw it, and the more experience you have, you can go straight in and draw it. But sometimes you just need to warm up a little bit and get those curves moving. And once you start, just draw anything. You know, if you're just have breakfast in your, you know, breakfast bowl or mug or something is sitting there on the table, just draw it. And it doesn't matter if it's rubbish. It's the act of drawing. It gets your mind connected to your hand, to the pencil, to the paper, and you just start drawing, and then you might not finish it because suddenly you'll get inspired while you're doing it. So while you're warming up and just drawing anything, it kind of freeze the mind up to let ideas start flowing, and you're kind of get this flow from flow of ideas from out there in the universe has got to come through your head, down through your arm, and into your hand, and you've got to just start to allow it to happen. So just draw any old rubbish, but once you start drawing, the ideas will come. Does that make sense? Gerardo says, what time is it right now to synchronize it with my watch? Well, with me right now, it is 5:57, and I'm going to stay for another 5 minutes probably, because I think I'm going to have to go. Mrs. Rain is going to wonder where I am soon. Leonardo says, hi, I'm Brazilian. Yes, hi to Brazil. I think it's Portuguese, isn't it? So I can't, hola is Spanish. Anyway, I think the only thing I know in Portuguese is obrigado. Obrigado, Leonardo. That's thanks, I think. Reeston says, can I draw Superman with a pug face? No, I keep thinking I should draw a pug, because pugs are really kind of popular, aren't they? So maybe I should do. Aurora 1704, where does he read the comments? Well, I've got a stream on my right hand side here of comments that I'm reading, and I think all the comments are being typed below where you normally comment on a video. So, but I'm getting a different view to you, so that's the way it goes. So Ichibe Oyosube, is it here? Hi, Gerardo Mongola. Well, this chat thing, XD. Horisung, yeah, or okay, thanks. Hey, can I watch this vid later? Yes, I think this vid will be up later. Quite a few more comments, but like, oh, I'm missing lots of comments. Oh, I'm missing lots of comments, aren't I? Oh, I'm missing so many comments. Oh, I just realized. Drawing on computer is annoying as yeah, well, I'm trying to answer so many questions. I didn't realize there's so many more questions here. Hi, Shoo. I'm from Bristol. I'm Gabrielle. I've been drawing on and off for many years. I was just south of Bristol yesterday. Can you show us your best drawing? Well, not right now. Best drawing should always be the next one. Oh, Chris C, very deep. Andrew, I agree. Best drawings might be the character he has drawn the most, I think, which is the Ginger Ninja, really. If you saw the tie that I drew just recently, that's the Ginger Ninja. So right about frustration, I remember I used to love to draw anything when I was a kid. 016692. I've been a teaching assistant for coming up to a year now. I was just wondering if you know of any drawing related games that you found to be successful with primary school kids. Thanks. No, of course there's always Hangman, isn't there? There's that one, but that's more of a word game really. But can you show us your favorite drawing? Probably not now. I just discovered all these extra comments down here. After I entered the walk first, I got so tired that my drawings were ugly, then I stopped. Maybe it's time to pick up the pencil again. Yes, Harrison. Chris, if your drawings look ugly to you, that means your eye improved at spotting mistakes and your hand has to catch up. Yeah, that's a very good point too. And also some things that, you know, you can be very self-critical and other people think your drawings are really good. But you also have to have a sort of sense of self-criticism as well. Please describe the scenery in Japan. It was just beautiful. Going to, I think I wanted to go to Mount Fuji since I was 9 years old or something. I finally got there, and I was there at blossom time, cherry blossom time, and there was just cherry blossom everywhere. It's beautiful, and there's just it's a very, very different. It's very, very different. You know, the language is different, the culture is different. Everything about Japan is so different. Faija Khan, if so, can you show me how to draw a proper face? I missed something earlier about that, Faija. Sorry. It's very hard to keep up. Utrilus, Istabek is really good at drawing faces. Istibrak. There are lots and lots of other brilliant video artists making video stuff on YouTube. So, you know, kind of have a look on what they do. All right, where are we now? Let's see a picture. Do I see the picture in my mind when I'm drawing? I think I'm missing some things. Leonardo, I pronounced obrigado. Good. Do you see a picture in my mind when I'm drawing? Yes, I do. I think I'm a very visually minded person, and I kind of see what it is I'm wanting to draw, and I kind of draw what I see. Does that make sense? Do I think of coming to Brazil someday? I don't know. That would be great, wouldn't it? Blem Asian, any tips on drawing hentai? Well, it's not quite my thing, really. I'm a children's book illustrator, so hentai is a bit adult, really. And if you don't know what hentai is, I'm not going to say. Wow, the delay is unreal. It is. It's only half a minute. It's no delay. I'm reading previous comments as well. Layout's different depending on the width of the window. You pronounce right. Oh, do you see the picture? Fun. Good luck with the academy. Thanks. Have to go, but was nice. You are asking the wrong artist. Yeah. What do I think of evolution? I think it's amazing the way it keeps evolving. Yeah, I think it probably is about time for me to go now. So, Blem Asia, this man is a legend. Thank you very much. I am going to go now, so you can stop typing. And thank you very, very much for watching and asking all these questions. We will try and work this out. I think tea party sounds like the way to go. Okay, thanks for watching. Practice. Keep drawing, practice. You take care now. Bye-bye.